you flirting or if you flirting or something or messing around flirting and then you hop up one day and ask your spouse why you flirting, who you sending text to, your spouse like, why are you checking for my texts? And
Because
all
you
along,
in
you're the
Texas with
one that's
them.
you you're the one that's sending the texts, you're the one that's flirting around. Or like or the manager employee relationship. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you recognize me. You're not recognizing me, and all
Don't
of us,
see me,
yeah,
and all
all
rest
that.
that.
So it can go on and on and on. But
It
I'm just saying
can.
projection is a powerful one that sometimes unconsciously we do in our relationships.
We do because I think we're always trying to find someone else to be responsible for us. And we don't oftentimes, again, when we got wounds and infections and we dealing with rejection and stuff, sometimes we don't want to be honest with ourselves about how we feel about us.
Yeah,
And so if somebody else says, but we've been feeling that way the whole time,
yeah,
and we always put it off on someone else. And so I think that's a dangerous one because again, it deals with your perception of how you see things. So when you do that in your relationships, you push the wrong people away and keep the right ones close. The wrong ones close.
One was close.
The
Yeah,
wrong ones close.
yeah,
You push the right ones away and you keep the wrong ones close. Yeah. So again, that's another one. And one that we do, this is a more silent one. This is a dangerous one as a believer because this is emotional disconnection. Meaning
yeah.
I'm there, I show up every day. I show up to the job, I show up in the relationship. We make breakfast, we go to the grocery store, we pay the bills, we do the whole thing, but I am not here. I'm completely disconnected. My heart is not here. My body is here, but my heart is not here. And all my relationships look the same because I'm not actually in them. I don't put my heart into them. I don't have any emotion in them because I'm so afraid because I'm still infected with this wound that I don't put me in my relationships because I'm so afraid that something is going to happen that's not going to work, so I don't even connect to them. The danger of this is how you can also end up losing great relationships with people, dating and otherwise. Because guess what? You're thinking nobody can tell you're not in it, but they can. Your physical presence does not mean there's connection, right? Because it's so important. Yep, you're only giving what you are willing to lose. Absolutely. And so it's so important that you remember that when you talk about disconnection and living in relationships and building them while you're not there. You ever been in a relationship, you didn't feel anything, you wasn't mad, they come and go. I know about most of disconnecting because I was a pro at that one. um,
You've been
I'm the
healed though. You've
the
been healed.
deliverer. So I can talk about it
You've been healed.
with great
But
joy.
let me go back to that nugget though. I'm gonna have to steal that nugget from A Functions, whoever that is. I'm gonna steal it from you and I won't give you no credit. Giving giving only what you are willing to lose is crazy work, but that is
It
exactly
is.
what is taking place when
That's
it
exactly
comes when it comes to this
it. Don't want to
disconnection.
give nothing.
It's wild. It's wild. It's wild. I've seen that and I've done that.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I can relate to that one so much.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you don't put anything in because you don't want anything out of it because you're not in it. The danger of that is you lose out on and you end up hurting more people because people are in it.
Yeah.
And then they figure out at one point, oh my God, I put my heart in this and you're not in it. So it's so easy for you to walk away because you didn't put anything into it. And you see
Yeah.
how the cycle continues, and you weren't always like that. But when you get like that, the danger, it can become dangerous being in relationship with you because guess what? You're not in it.
Not in it.
You still back at the last one that hurt you. So let's go to the next one. Untreated wounds. We're going to continue this a little bit, right? And then here's the other danger. I'm going to go back to disconnection for a moment. The danger of disconnection is you only hurt yourself because you need connection just as much as you need to give it, you need to experience it. Otherwise, you don't know what it's like to be emotionally supported. You don't actually know what it's like to be loved. You don't know what it's like for someone to be there for you because you can't feel it when they are. And that's the danger. And then you live this life that's empty of what you really need, which is emotional connection. Isn't that interesting? That's okay, Jacqueline. You're not alone. Listen. Yep. Autopilot can be like that. Exactly. Because you're just moving through, but you're not in it. Does that make sense? And then you can wonder why you can't sustain relationships because people know you're not in it. So, untreated wounds lead to infection, self sabotage. We talked about this a little bit when we talk about untreated wounds, self sabotage. What does I do? I'm dealing with toxic stuff. So, guess what? I sabotage a relationship. I'm so uncomfortable. This feels so out of pocket. I constantly sabotage. I'm gonna make up something to argue with you about because I'm scared because I don't want to be hurt. So I'm gonna make up something. I'm gonna see how much you can bear. So I'm gonna keep pushing you and pushing you and pushing you and pushing you till you leave, and then I'm gonna say, and that's why I didn't. That's why I knew you was gonna leave. I knew it was gonna happen. Self sabotage. That's what happens with that. Isn't that interesting? When we really look at that, that's a wound. You're trying to confirm your hurts are true. So you keep doing the same things, and you connect to people who only prove you to be correct. So you get in relationships with people that don't care about you. When they prove they don't, you say, and this is why I don't get in relationships. And so you reverberate this same pain over and over and over again. Yes, self-inflicted wounds. Self-sabotage is dangerous because what you're trying to do is prove something, but you end up hurting yourself even more. The next one is victimism. Victimism is really interesting because this is one that I believe a lot of us have dealt with or are dealing with. This is when you have not dealt with your hurts and your pains. And so, because you haven't, you're always on the lookout for who else is going to hurt you, but you very rarely pay attention to who you hurt. And so, victimism comes in and it turns everything around and makes everything about you. Everything that happens in the relationship focuses on you. You very rarely apologize because everything is about you and nobody knows your story. And if they did, they will understand why you are that way. But in everybody's story, you're the victim. In your mind, everybody is after you, trying to hurt you, trying to get you. Again, this is all perception stuff if you look at this. Victimism. Everything is about me. So you could bring me a concern. I'll turn the concern around and make it. Now I'm hurt because you said that to me. Now I'm not dealing with what you said. I'm talking about I can't believe you said that my attitude was nasty. How could you say that to me? Now I'm going through changes about what you said to me, but I'm not dealing with the fact of what I did. I'm always going to spin it around when I'm dealing with victimism. I struggle to take ownership because I'm still living in my last hurt. And I'm so afraid that somebody else is going to blame me for something, or I'm going to be that I'm constantly on the run and I can never see me. That's victimism. I'm always the victim. No matter what happens, I can never hear you, but I always want you to hear me. It's dangerous because victimism is one of those where pride slips in on you, because then you think higher of yourself than you ought and don't even know it. Ain't that interesting? Because you're so hurt. You still haven't healed from the previous relationship or the previous experience you had. So you bring that to your new relationship and you say, ain't nobody gonna hurt me no more. And now, guess what? Every time something comes up, you never hear them. It's always about you. Anybody dealing with this right now, go on to put it in the chat. Just put an eyeball in there. If you don't want to put it in the chat, everything becomes about you. Just drop an eyeball if that's you. We're not judging, okay? We're not judging. That is victimism. Guess what it does for your relationships? It pushes people away from you because you don't see them. You only see you. And that's what's so dangerous about it, because everything is about you. So if they bring something to you, God forbid they brought it, first of all. It's like, how could you say that about me? And there's no way any of us are perfect in relationship, are we? Nope. We hurt each other. We make mistakes. And that's everybody on this call does that. Everybody on this Zoom does it. So nobody got perfection on lock. But when you're dealing with this victimism, everything is about you because you're still living from the last hurt. And don't let it look similar to. Oh gosh, you down a rabbit hole. So we have to heal from that. Then pessimistic protection is the next one. This infection is so dangerous because it causes you to always see the glass half empty. Always. It's always going to be half empty. You're always around the corner looking for something wrong. And if you look long enough with anybody, you're going to find something. You have this perception that it has to be perfect for me to get into this relationship. And so you never do. So the moment you find the truth that you're in a relationship with the imperfect person, you gone. Because you have this pessimistic protection that I knew that. I knew that it was gonna be like that all along. I knew that's why. See what I'm saying? You need, and then you want everybody around you to be trying to protect themselves the same way. So you look for it until you find it. The person could be saying, and it's so funny. The funny part is, I'm sure you've probably seen yourself in multiple of these because I've seen myself in some of them. You get hurt and it's really fresh. You ain't healed from it. Somebody come along, you on edge. You hear me? On edge. You looking, is it you? Huh? Is it you? You another one? And they're like, I'm sorry, I was just asking a question. But why? You're so pessimistic that this is the way that you protect yourself. Does that make sense? Now put your eyeballs in there if you got a little pessimistic protection. You're always looking out to see what's wrong, but never what's right. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the eyeballs. Just drop your eyeballs if it's hitting you, because why? We want to heal. I mean, the moment you see something wrong, out of there. See what I'm saying? I knew he wasn't no good. Look at him. Uh-huh. He came here late, 15 minutes late, and you just can't let it go. Can't let it go. You got to wear it out. Talk. It's like it's all good. It was just a mistake. Nah, ain't no mistake. Ain't no mistake. Uh-uh. And you got to go all into it. Pessimistic protection. Your whole goal is you're trying to do everything that you can to keep yourself from being hurt. So you're doing everything you possibly can. And in your mind, you think everything that you possibly can do is watching everybody to make sure they don't do what they did before to hurt you. The interesting part about this is after you do all that, you still end up hurt. Ain't that something? Because guess what? It doesn't actually protect you. None of this stuff we do actually protects us at all. So we got to watch out for that. Then the runs. And some people mentioned this earlier as one of their toxic behaviors. We're not judging, right? You are on the run. You struggle with commitment to anything, which causes you to be very unstable because you won't lock in on things long enough to build and develop them. At the sight of something happening, you on the run. Soon as it seems like it, we can't find you. You see what I'm saying? A moment of challenge. Somebody say something to you. They say, you know what? Why don't you should probably get here on time. You clutch them pearls and then you're on the run because you don't want to deal with it. Now they done hurt you. You see what I'm saying? Or you don't want to deal with things. So you're constantly running. Relationship to relationship, friendship to friendship, job to job, always starting over, having to restart, reestablish all the time. And you don't know it's coming from a wound. Always on the run. Soon as anything happens, before you get a chance to process it, look at it, your perception goes, this is danger and I need to run. Right? But what if it wasn't danger? It could have been just that we need to develop. Could have been that we just need to have a conversation. Could have been that I need to communicate my boundaries, like Pastor said. I need to make sure we have the same values. Could have been that, and then we could have built from there. But we don't do that. We on the run. I love that, Kiva. It's a victim's response. We are on the run. We run from the sight of things. And here's the crazy part where it overlaps with the toxic thing, right? We run from relationships that make us uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We run from relationships that God gives us to help us grow. We be on the run. If that's you, put your eyeball emojis in there. Go on and drop them.
And this is
Drop
a good one. I'll go say this. I'll go say this. And this is one too that I know in therapy has really helped me out back in a while ago. Because I had to realize, right, that some places, some people, some environments, you need to stay put in order to heal, right? But the runs will have you thinking, I must escape, I must leave. And that's the very place that
them.
you need to heal, the very place you need to grow, the very place you need to sharpen, the very place you need to, as the scriptures say, renew your mind, right? Right. It's hard to renew your mind and you're by yourself. You're you and yourself and your mind is going to say the same way, right? So God will put you in a place where he will cause your mind to be renewed because the environment is different. The people are different, and they're challenging you. They are reinforcing who you are. So they are awakening the real you, right? Like Paul did Timothy. He was awakening the real you. He said, no, 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 no. We remember who you are. Your grandmother, your mama would lay hands on you, stir up the gift, right? So those environments will trigger the real you to come alive, right? But when you're running, it's hard to come alive when you are running back to the same person, the same type of people that continue to keep you in them same dead old places. So I say that. So this is a powerful one that I learned myself because I was avoiding the places that I needed that was causing growth in my own life. So
Yeah. And I think when you're in that, it causes your life to roller coaster.
yeah.
Everything about you rolls up and then it rolls down. And it rolls that way because of the instability, because it's really about here. It's about how you see things. That's why we're talking about relational rehab and changing our perception and allowing God to heal us so we can see things properly, right? So that we're not running, so that we're not trying to protect ourselves by being pessimistic, that we're not running from everything that seems hard, that we sit in certain things and let them build us and make us. If you think about it, if you were ever had the runs or you were a runner, what did you ever accomplish while you was running?
Mm,
If you think about it, what did I accomplish while I was on the run? Nothing. Because guess what? You can't run forever.
no.
At some point you're gonna get tired. And you're gonna have to sit still and build a relationship. And you're gonna have to sit still and develop, and you're gonna have to sit still and heal, and you're gonna have to stabilize because you're gonna want things out of this life, and they all require a relationship. You're eventually you're going to look back, and the fruit of what you really desire is not running. It's just you got an infection. That's all. And then the next one we go to is possessive control. This is the one where you hold people so tight you break the relationship. You're so afraid that they'll do something that you want to control every aspect of the relationship. So this is the ones where you can get kind of you can get a little toxic in these. You want everything your way. If it's not, you hit people with all kind of weird behaviors in the relationship because all you want is to control every part of it so that you don't get hurt. So you want possession of the relationship. So the person can't think different from you. They can't see things different from you. Everything has to line up with your comforts. Otherwise, you can't handle it because you want 100% control in the relationship. And how many of you know ain't nobody getting out of a relationship with another human? Why? Because guess what? This is a relationship. It's a two-party thing. Nobody gets everything that they want in a relationship. But when you're like this, you squeeze your relationship so tight. You squeeze them so tight. They can't have no other friends. Everything has to be surrounding you. You're so afraid that you're going to lose them because you're so scared because you put your heart into it that you hold the relationship too tight. You squeeze it and you want everything from them because that's what brings you safety. That's possessive control. It is an infection. The most beautiful relationships are the ones that we have freedom to love. Who wants to be forced to love each other? Who wants to be in a relationship that somebody got to be forced to love me? I don't want that. You can go on. Go on. If I gotta force you, guilt you, beg you to be in a relationship with me, don't you even worry about it. I want it freely, just like God wants it freely. If anybody can have control of us, when you really think about this, it could be God. He the one gave the most. He put the most skin in the game up front with no guarantees. And even he doesn't want control. He wants your heart in it. He wants you to do it because you love him. Isn't that interesting? He don't even want to control you. He wants you to obey because you love him and you know how much he loves you and you know that he would never tell you anything that's going to hurt you. So he wants you to freely do it. And that's coming from God, the one that made us, right? So if he doesn't want to squeeze it, and you see it in parent and children relationships a lot of times, we hold them so tight because we're so afraid, right? Or we're holding our spouses so tight and so afraid, or our friendships, they can't have no other friends. We get mad. If that's you, put your Put your eyeball in that chat. Put it on in there. If that's you, it's okay, right? Possessive control. That's key. We got to know this stuff. Not because we like, dang, no, we want to know it because guess what? We want to heal. We don't want to keep being like that. Thank you for your honesty. This is good. We don't want to keep being like that because what it translates into is it's no longer about love. It's about control now. And that's not even what we really want. We want somebody to freely love us because they want to. And we can't do that. We can't see that if we're trying to control everything. So these are some of the wounds that we talked about. I want to spend a few minutes in here because I really wanted you to kind of identify. And then my prayer is that you've been improving, that you identified it when we first talked about it. And so you said, you know what, this is really good. Pastors brought this up. I'm going to write this down because I've been self-sabotaging every relationship I got. I've been doing things to push them away and make them not like me because I want them to leave so that I don't have to. Does that make sense? I'm sabotaging it. Because I could say, see, you really didn't love me. You wasn't really in it. You weren't really my friend, but you drove them away. You did everything they could until you hit all their boundaries. And they was like, okay, I can't do that with you anymore. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do when we're hurt. Yeah, I'm not mad at Chanel. I be all over the place sometimes too, right? Because this happens to us. So when we talk about this, we talked about some myths about relationship, and I think this is really important. If it's from God, it should be easy. When we talk about perception, if we don't deal with these things here, we won't be able to identify nor discern when a relationship is from God. Because godly relationships are not easy. They're just not. They're not meant to be easy. They're not easy. Right? So if it's from God, it should be easy. We often think when we're in a relationship, oh yes, if this who God said, it should be easy breeze. We should think the same way, feel the same way, move the same way. We should have all the same stuff. That's not true. If the Bible says iron sharpens iron, we're gonna be different on purpose. And it's nothing wrong with that. And it doesn't mean the relationship is not from God. It just doesn't. So look at this. The mind governed by the flesh is hostile to God. The reason we're talking about this is because I want you to know that if your thinking, your perception is not renewing, your mind is not going to be thinking this. If it's from God, you're going to be thinking, oh, it should be easy. But when you read this scripture, it says a mind governed by the flesh is hostile to God. It does not submit to God's law, nor can it do so. Those who are in the realm of the flesh cannot please God. This is Romans 8:7-8. So when you think about this, if you don't have the right perception, and if your thoughts and your thinking is based on the flesh, based on your emotions, based on how you feel, you're going to think that everything's supposed to be easy because why? All the fleshly stuff we do just comes naturally. But you're doing something different now. You said, I want a healthy relationships. I want things that sharpen me, that bring me closer to God, that make me a better person, that help me heal. I want that. That's a different mindset. So your mind has to be governed by God. Can I be governed by that? If it is, you're going to keep thinking this. You ever got saved and you said, man, it can't be this hard. It is difficult. Because why? You're changing. You're used to living by your flesh. Your emotions are used to driving you. How you date. Your emotions used to drive you to do that. So yeah, you ain't gonna like dating when you say at first, oh, this weird. I'm a grown woman, I'm a grown man. I can't believe you're gonna have a different appetite because of what you've been governed by. Does that make sense?
Thank you for saying that because I think that's very, very, I would say just a valid point to make when it comes to just how we look at relationships, but also our relationship with God,
Yep.
right? The transition to understanding God, loving God, living by God's word, it is not easy at first,
Yep.
right? So, and it is not meant to harm you, but it feels like it's harming you because it is harming you. It's harming your soul. The,
Yep.
the spirit war against this flesh. So that means the spirit is trying to take your flesh out. It's trying to destroy your flesh. So a lot of what we're learning, transitioning, growing into, it does feel harmful, but it's only harmful to your flesh, to your soul. I just want to throw that out there 'cause that's a valid point. We all have experienced it. And some of us experiencing it right now, where we feel like I don't love God right now. God has me repenting. God has me hushing my mouth. God has me, doing things that's uncomfortable to our flesh, right? So I just want to throw that out there. It does feel that way.
It does. And here's the crazy thing. Once you get past that moment, you find out it's the easiest way to live.
Yeah.
It be the most peace, the most
Yes.
joy, the most abundance after you get past this moment where your flesh feel like it's cringing because you're learning something new. You're learning a different way to live. Your mind is actually being renewed. So in that process, you've been eating fried chicken all this time. Now you own baked chicken. No, you're not gonna like baked chicken. Because
Right.
why? Your appetite is for fried chicken, right? So you're going to have some moments in this transition where your mind is actually being governed by God. Governed by, okay, what should I be thinking about? Okay, you know what? That's not excellent. That's not praiseworthy. I'm not going to be thinking about that. Yes, you're going to have some moments in there where you don't feel like that makes sense. Yes, you're going to have that. But here's the beauty of it. As you progress as a believer, as you give into these things, what happens is your appetite becomes these things and the other things feel hard. Does that make sense? That's why
Hmm.
he talks about my burden is easy and my yoke is light. Because why? He's trying to tell us something, right? He's trying to say it ain't what it feel. Because guess what? All of this is based around. The main reason we're in the middle of a relational rehab series is because we are rehabbing this. Your mind and your soul is what makes you think that this is hard, that this way of doing things is just impossible. How could I do that? It's your mind, your perception. As it changes and comes in alignment with what God is saying, you find that it's not as difficult. Is it super easy? No, but it's not as difficult as it starts at the beginning. And listen to this. Things that God has given you have to be fought for. You know why you're fighting for them? Because sometimes you don't really want them. Let's be honest. Yes, I love that. The way of a transgressor is hard. We not transgressors, right? So look at this. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent take it by force. What is it talking about? It's talking about the fact that you have to fight for some things. Can I challenge you all today? Stop running and quitting every relationship that's difficult, like healthy difficult. We know we're not talking about toxic difficult. We're talking about healthy difficult. The ones that make you uncomfortable, the ones that challenge you to grow, the ones that don't let you sit in things for too long, that make you grow and make you see yourself a different way and push you. Can I challenge you to fight for those and stop fighting to keep all your comforts around you? Put an eyeball emoji in the chat if you know that you struggle to fight for healthy relationships. I find most of the time that we're willing to let those go very easily and hold on to the wrong ones because they feel more comfortable, because they don't challenge us. They don't even see us sometimes. So we
Yeah.
quit to not to fight for those. But the ones that challenge us, that make us uncomfortable, they'll be like, oh, they remind you to keep going. They push you past where you are. Those we normally don't want to fight for. We don't want to pursue those too much. We want to kind of just let those just kind of, because they're not comfortable. But those
Hmm.
relationships are worth fighting for. So I want to encourage you, commit and say, you know what, I'm going to fight for healthy relationships. Healthy does not mean easy, but healthy is not toxic either. Thank you for your honesty. Yes, this is good. We got to fight for our relationships. You have to commit and say, I'm not going to run. I'm not going to self sabotage this. I'm going to fight for my relationships because I need these, not them. I need it. So I'm going to fight for it because I know I need this relationship. Let's keep moving. If it matters, Monique said this earlier, it will be tested. If it is God ordained, it will be opposed. If you think the enemy is going to sit back and watch you build an amazing, healthy, beautiful relationship and not try to throw things in there, that's unreal. And if you think that a healthy relationship is comprised of perfect people, then you shouldn't be in it, because you automatically disqualified the relationship from being God ordained when you stepped into it. Because guess what? We are not perfect. We are not perfect. The moment you got in it, that disqualified your relationship from being perfect. Because you and I have flaws. We have things we're working through in relationships. We don't come perfect. So we can't expect that in relationships. And that is a perception issue that we have. We want everybody else to do everything right so that they don't hurt us, but we don't think about us in the relationship and our imperfections and how we impact other people in the same relationship. We want them to be perfect, but we don't want to produce that because we can't. We ask people for something we can't even bring to the table ourselves. There's nobody on this Zoom that could guarantee perfection in a relationship. Nobody, including me. Because guess what? We're humans and we're flawed and we're broken. So if you focused on it in a relationship, it would give you more patience with the people you're in relationship with, because you would know, wait a minute, ain't no way this relationship gonna be easy because I'm in it and I'm something else. Huh? We always say somebody else something else, but do we say I'm something else in a relationship? I got some things. I can be something else at times. We always have to say they something else. No, you're something else. I can be something else sometimes. You see what I'm saying? We don't think about that in relationship though. The moment you step into it, you disqualified it from being perfect. I want you to think about that. You did. You guaranteed that it was not going to be perfect and that it was not going to be pristine or any of those things because you're a human. Okay? Myth to be. If we disagree, we are not meant to be. Again, this is a myth. That is not true. We can agree to disagree. You can be in a relationship with someone and you all don't see things the same way. That is the beauty of that, because that leaves you open to learn a new perspective. You may be right in certain points, but there are also other points where you could grow in how you see things. You miss out on those opportunities in relationship if your perspective is, I'm out of here, because if we disagree, this can't be meant to be. I got to go, right? But again, what do? We got to work through stuff. Where did we get to this place where we just check out on each other so fast? We just disappear. Where did we get? How do we get here? Our hurts, thinking everything is toxic, thinking everything is unsafe, right? Yes, I love that kind of my way and no way mentality, right? And then our way don't even be working. We done told up many relationships and we still going to the next one thinking the same way, right? If we disagree, we are not meant to be, is a myth. That is not true. There can be differences and the relationship still be meant to be. Here's the deal, and I want you to really think about this. Why would you be in a relationship with someone who has the same strengths as you? Think about that. Wouldn't it make sense if you could help somebody be better because your strength is their weakness and your weakness they're strong at, and you all can sharpen each other in those areas? Isn't that interesting? But we expect everybody to think like us. We expect them to be like us. We expect them to move like us. We expect them to see the world like us. We expect them to do it the way we would do it, how we would do it, when we would do it. And this damages our relationship because it's not real. You're dealing with two different people that have two different upbringings, two different levels of experience, two different degrees of healing, two different perspectives on life. And we pull all that out and we say, if we disagree, it ain't meant to be. Diabolical. How do we help each other? We help each other because we offset each other's strengths and weaknesses. I can show you something that you don't know, and you can teach me something I don't know. And then I become better because you're in my life. That's a healthy relationship. That's a healthy relationship. That's not something that says we're not meant to be. Because oftentimes we look for people to be what we are, but we don't look at them being who they are and adding to our life. All relationships make you better. If they make you better, that means they're bringing something to you that you did not have before this relationship. You see the perception change? If I'm becoming better because I'm in this relationship with you, that is because you're adding value to my life. And if you're adding value, that means you're adding something I did not come to the table with. And I'm adding something that you did not come to the table with, which is exactly what makes us meant to be. Does that make sense? I hope this is helping you. Unity preserves through effort, not through the absence of disagreement. You can be unified in your effort, but it does not mean that there's an absence of disagreement. The main thing is, like Pastor said Sunday, are we going the same direction? Do we have the same goals? Are our values aligned? Do we want the same thing in this relationship? Right? What are our core values? What's our goal? Why are we here? What do we want to do? That is where the unity is. Now, we may disagree on little pieces on how we're going to get there and what it looks like and what part I'm going to do and you going to do and how much of this and how much of that and not enough of that and all those things. But if our goal is what? We preserve unity because our effort is to get on the same page. Okay, so we have a different map route to get there, but we going to the same place. You see what I'm saying? Oftentimes in relationship, we get lost in the sauce in here. We never get to the goal. We forget the goal and we down in the weeds on the fact that you think it should be red and I think it should be purple. But we still need balloons though. The unity is in the balloon. It's not in the color. So mix them up. Do one of each. Who cares? The mission is that we get the balloons. You see what I'm saying? But we get lost in this. Does that make sense? Anybody get lost in disagreements and forget about the goals, the unity? Right? This is important. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity. Proverbs 17:17. Right? Absolutely. We get caught in the weeds. Healthy relationships prioritize safety over comfort. Safety is a requirement. I want you to think about your relationship. Are you safe? And safe does not mean comfortable, meaning a person respects your boundaries. Even if they cross, they're willing to work on it and say, oops, I'm sorry, I did not mean to do that. I'm going to be more mindful. And they actually do. Safe is not the same as comfortable. Does that make sense? How many times do we mix these two up? Discomfort can lead to growth. Most of the time, when you are comfortable, you and I are not growing. Think about it at the gym. If you ain't sweating, you're not burning no calories. Think about that. If you're not sweating, you're not burning no calories. You got to sweat some. You got to lift some weights to build your muscles. And that's not what? Comfortable. Discomfort leads to growth. Lack of safety leads to harm. So you want to be able to decipher between the two in your relationships. Wait a minute. And I'm going to flip it on you. Are you making sure that people are safe in relationship with you? Are you prioritizing to say, let me make sure that I'm safe in relationship and that I'm not causing harm? Again, oftentimes in relationship, we're always thinking about what somebody is doing to us, but very rarely are we thinking about what we're doing. We don't be thinking about that, do we? How many people can be honest? Put your eyeball emoji in there. Put it on in there. You're always thinking about your safety, but you're not thinking about how much safety you're creating in your relationships. Right? We're not thinking about, man, am I making sure that I'm helping people grow? Because, okay, because I got to make sure that if I'm not safety, I'm bringing harm. We always trying to figure out who's doing something to us, but we're not assessing what we're doing. That's where the Holy Spirit comes from. That's where your prayer life, that's where your relationship with God says, wait a minute, I'm not safe. While I'm talking about them in a relationship, I'm over here causing harm. I'm causing harm. When is the last time you and I thought about that? Wait a minute. I'm prioritizing my comfort in this relationship over making sure that this is a safe space. Because sometimes it is uncomfortable to provide safety. Sometimes you can't say everything you want. You can't do everything you want in a relationship because your mission is, you know what? I don't want to cause any harm. I want to make sure they're heard, even though we don't agree. I still want to talk about some things, but I don't want to cause harm. because I want to be comfortable, because I just want to say what I want to say and I want to get it on out there because it's what it is. And all those things that we think, right? And how we move in relationships. Think about it in your relationships. Have I been safe? Because if you haven't, you've been more focused on your own comfort, which causes harm in your relationships. Let's keep moving. Better is an open rebuke than hidden love. Can we say this? Listen, can we talk about this for a second? Just this first line. Can we talk about, when we talk about changing our perception, how we believe that if a person is not condoning our behavior, that they're hating? Can we just talk about that? Can we talk about it? Can we talk about this perception that we have that people are toxic because they challenge us? When the other person is watching you fall and fail over and over again, and they just won't say anything to you. And so sometimes we be rather surrounded by people that cheer us on to do things that harm us than somebody who addresses our behavior. And we call that love. See, she really got my back. He really understand me. And they are watching you fall over and over again. And you're all into it. And you say, that's my friend. And they jealous of me. And that's a hater. And they don't want to see me win. When in fact, the one that has their mouth closed, that is not challenging you, is the one that does not love you like they say they do. Can we talk about that? What is love if it's hidden? We run from challenge sometimes. If you find yourself running from challenge, put your eyeball emojis in. Put them in there. Put them in the chat. You find yourself running from relationships that challenge you. You identify open rebuke or somebody confronting you out of love because they just want to see you win and you don't know what to do with that. So when they do it, you don't know what to do with it. So you run from it and you identify more with a hidden love. Wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. You got to watch out for this. Again, all of this stuff comes from perception, right? How we see love, how we see relationship. Think about it. Why would I want to be in a relationship with somebody who wouldn't yell at me and say, you're falling and you're about to break your leg? Why would I want to be in a relationship with someone who won't say something, who say, girl, get it, and watch me fall in the hole and then break my leg and be, girl, you got to be more careful. But oftentimes, again, because of these infections and wounds, these are the very people that we spend our time with. Isn't that interesting? You have to tell yourself, it's okay for my friend. My friend challenging me means that my friend loves me. They want to see me win, and they're not going to watch me hurt myself or watch me fall or watch me make the same mistake. They're not going to do it because they love me that much. So they're willing to risk our relationship to tell me I'm wrong, to say you shouldn't do that, to say, why are you saying that to your friend? What's going on? But we run from those people. Yes, pacified. That's the perfect word, Shakai. Rather than be pacified than the truth being told to you. That's not love. Being pacified is not love. Somebody avoiding telling you something hard, that's not love. And you avoiding telling someone is not love. But oftentimes we do that because why? We want to keep the relationship and we think that, in order to keep it easy, I'm going to just chill. I ain't going to really say nothing, just to kind of keep it, keep it easy. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to keep it chill. I don't want them saying nothing to me. So we choose these ways that are not healthy for either party in a relationship to grow. So I really want you to get this. Iron sharpens iron, so as one person sharpens the other. I really want you to recognize this. In every relationship that you are in, you should be growing. You should be better because you're in it. It should be better because you're there. Let's keep moving. Myth 3, I don't need you. We talked about this. We talked about it. We did. The idea that our hurts and pains accumulate so much that we find ourselves siloed. If you find that you still struggling with myth number 3, put your eyeball emojis in the chat. I don't need you. You have conditioned yourself out of hurts and pains to say, I don't need anybody. If that's you, just drop it in the chat. Your eyeball emoji, I don't need you. That is a sign that there's an infection there because you do need each other. We do not grow alone. We just don't grow by ourselves. Thank you for your honesty. It's important. We sometimes believe this. I don't need you. Listen to this. Two are better than one. This is Ecclesiastes 4:9-12. We need each other. You do need each other. You do. It is a lie. You are just wounded and you just don't know it. Because if in fact we didn't need each other, why would God make us interdependent? Why he didn't give you every gift that you need, every talent that you need, every calling that you need? Why he didn't give you everything? Just load you up with the whole package. You know why? Because he wanted us to need each other. We're interdependent because we need each other on purpose. But if you keep believing this, you're going to find your growth stunted all the time. You're going to find yourself capped in where you can go all the time. You know why? Because you only got what you got. And if you only live about a little bit that you have, you're going to be in trouble. And I know what it feels like to be hurt, to feel all the things betrayed, mad, used, etc., etc., etc. But even in that, I had to heal and recognize I still need people. But guess what? You need people, your picker is off. And we're going to talk about that. So it talks about here two is better than one because you know why? When you say you don't need each other, you live in a silo. And guess what happens in a silo? When you fall down, there's no one to pick you up. So you struggle alone. And it takes you a very long time to recover and even pick up. Isn't that true? Tell me if I'm telling a story there. Tell me now, because you know it's true. If either of them falls down, one can pick the other up. How long does it take you to come up by yourself? If you can get up. Exactly, right? But pity anyone who falls and has no one to get them up, right? It can feel like it's safety in keeping everything to yourself and living an extremely private life, but it's not. You know why? Because nobody really knows you. And what a horrible way to live. Because how do I love you if I don't know you? How can I be there for you if I don't know you? How do I pick you up when you fall down if I don't know you? Does that make sense? And then oftentimes you can wonder, man, how is it that I'm getting stuck so much? How is it that things are progressing and I'm not changing? And all these things, they come from falling alone. Okay? So I want you to see that. Even when it says in verse 12, though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. Getting someone that fights with you and fights for you is valuable. Because guess what? You don't have everything and you don't even know everything. I wish we did. It'd be great if we didn't need each other, but that's not the real life, right? Here's what I want you to get if you struggle with this. The desire for relationship is right. Your selection process needs healing. Oftentimes, again, we go back to these infections, we're choosing people with these wounds and issues that we don't know that we have. And oftentimes we're not presenting these things to God and we're not asking God, God, who should I be in relationship with? And then if he say it, sometimes we don't even believe that. Because why? We're so broken and so hurt, right? The desire for relationship that you had before you got hurt was right. But your selection process needs healing. The picker is off. We choose the wrong people. Choose the wrong people. Does that make sense? We choose the wrong people. And then when we choose them, then when we choose the wrong ones, then we come back and say, I don't need nobody. No, you didn't need them. They weren't a good selection for you. That wasn't a good choice. You chose the wrong friend. You chose the wrong job. You chose the wrong man. You chose the wrong woman. You selected wrong because you were wounded. So it's not that you don't need anybody. You need the right people. That makes sense? You need the right people. And the ability to choose the right people comes from prayer and healing. When you deal with your rehab and your perception changes, you choose differently, don't you? Just from you giving your life to the Lord, I guarantee you, you've made different decisions than what you did before. Because why? You saw things differently. Just growing older, you made different decisions than you did before, didn't you? You say, you know what? I'm not doing that. That don't work for me. Right? Now before you would have chose that. Now you don't. You see what I'm saying? So the desire for relationship is right. The selection process needs healing. And I really want you to get that. You know what? I chose wrong. But that did not mean that I did not need anybody. Choosing from pain will always produce more pain. I want you to get that. Choosing from pain will always produce more pain. This is why it is so important that we rehab our perceptions, that we get healed. Because when you don't, guess what you keep producing? You keep choosing people that hurt you and running from the ones that won't. Because you can't tell the difference between the two. You can't discern what's good from evil. You can't discern what's right from wrong. You ever been in that position before? Where you just could not discern what was right from wrong. Is anybody in that position now? Like you just don't know how to select healthy people. It could be because you could still be choosing out of pain. Does that make sense? And not from a healthy perspective. Because you can be healing and still have a healthy perspective. Let's continue to go. There are friends, and I want you to see this because, again, we really want to deal with this hurt thing. We agree that there are friends who destroy each other. We acknowledge that. We're not saying that everybody is on the up and up because they're not. There are friends who destroy each other, but a real friend sits closer than a brother. So, what is it telling you? Your picker is off or could have been off, and that's how you ended up hurt. And it doesn't mean that every relationship would have been perfect if you picked the right person. That's not what that means. What it means is it's trying to show you that there are real friends out here that will be closer than you to you than your real brother. Now, I know we read this scripture, we used to equate this to Jesus, but that is contextually off. If you read this scripture before, after, and around, nowhere does it say that Jesus is this friend. It says there are friends who destroy each other, but a real friend sits closer than a brother. It was trying to bring us revelation to say there are people out here who are not for you, but there are also people who are for you, who will sit closer than you than somebody that you were raised with. Did you know that? So you got to know that. You got to say, wait a minute. Okay, God already showed me there are real people out here that are genuine, that are not trying to hurt me, even if they hurt me by accident. It's out here. Look at this. One who is unreliable has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin. But there is a friend who sits closer than a brother. He's trying to tell you something to say, wait a minute, all relationships are not the same. So if you're battling with, I don't need you, I really want you to study this Proverbs 18 and 24 and say, God, help me to get this in my spirit. I chose wrong, but that does not mean that everybody is out to destroy me. There are people out here that are healthy and they want healthy relationships too. And they will stick closer to me than my own blood brother or sister. That is powerful and is so encouraging because it lets you know that what all is not lost. You just chose the wrong person. That's all. So you heal and you do a better job of selecting. Resolving conflict God's way. We're going to move through this and then we want to hear some questions and things from you guys. So when it talks about resolving conflict God's way, I really want you to tell me what your struggles are with conflict. Put that in the chat. What do you struggle with when it comes to conflict? What is your biggest challenge with it? For some people, that could be avoidance. What's your challenge? Not being heard. Okay. That is mine. That is okay. Avoidance. Okay. So sometimes just avoiding conflict. Okay. Staying calm. Okay, this is good. Not
This is
getting upset, maybe.
and this is the good one too, Pastor. I know God been dealing with me about this with just men, and I'm gonna do a whole I may do a series on this or just a men topic, but I know when it comes to men, there is a underlining spirit of anger on men sometimes,
Oh, that's good.
which causes us not to handle conflict the right way because we're already angry, right? So when you the scripture says be angry, but sin not. So It's okay to be angry. The challenge is we have a spirit of anger on us sometimes, and that's very challenging when we're managing conflict in a home, in a relationship with a spouse, in relationship with kids, right? We are I would say extra tense and extra angry, and it causes us to be very very challenged with managing conflict. So that's one I'm going to pull up on with just men period that I want to dig into because I want to see get men and get because I get more free in that. But I think it aligns to this here, which causes us, I would say, as men, not to have, I would say, great conflict resolution skills.
I
So
think that's so good because when you look at what anger really is, um, you find out that we get angry when we don't get what we want.
yeah,
And
or not being heard, right? And
because we
maybe not
want to
being
be
heard.
heard. Yep,
Yep.
and that we're not getting that person to hear us. And
Hmm.
when you look at that, because this is the book we're in an equip class, it talks about anger and what the source of it becomes is at some point we feel like we did not get something we deserved,
Yeah.
and because of that happens over and over again, like you said, we become angry, and that anger comes out. It does come out in our relationships because, to your point, we could not, just as humans, forget me and just in general, you start getting angry over and over again, feeling like you can't get what you want or you won't, and so you become angry because you feel misunderstood, because you
Yeah.
feel like you never can get it. So I think that's really really good. Rio said he feels a men's conference coming. He
Speak
said
it
he
into
felt that
existence.
coming, right?
Speak it.
Kyrie
Speak
said
it.
staying level headed. Okay, facts control, not being heard, feeling misunderstood. This is really good. Staying calm, diffusing the situation. This is so good. So this is what we're about to go into the Bible because I really believe this is going to help us. Let's see, somebody else said something here. Temper. Okay, this is good. Which goes back to, or you feel like you're being taken advantage of. Real.
Yeah.
That's real because that goes underneath that what? I'm not getting something I feel like I deserve. I don't deserve to be taken advantage of, or being nervous about it can make you angry ahead of time. Yep, always saying what somebody else said. This is good. So now we about to go deep because this is Bible, okay? This is a stretch. This is going to help us grow because I really want you to see how you deal with conflict God's way. And I promise you I've been working on this and it has been so freeing. So I want to put a review in on it and say that it does work. Is it challenging? Yes. But it is the best way to handle conflict because it glorifies God. And I'm going to show you how it goes really quickly. So listen to this. When it comes to conflict, you got to know there's a way that appears right, but in the end, it leads to death. If you think about how you've handled conflict thus far as a believer, I guarantee you, when you leaned on what you thought was right, it normally didn't end well, did it? Just put that in the chat. It normally, when you blew up, when you yelled, when you raised your voice, when you defended yourself, it normally went completely left. And a lot of times it only got worse. You never really got to a solution. Nothing got resolved. And a lot of times, even with us as married couples, normally you end up arguing about something that ain't got nothing to do with the main reason from the beginning. Y'all don't forget about that. And now y'all arguing about uh you raised your elbow at me and your tone was out and you all around the corner. So I want you to get this. I want you to see it. I want you to feel it and say, you know what? I've been thinking that I got a way that's right, and it keeps leading me to death in my relationships. It is not leading me to resolution. It has not been successful, and it's not all about the other person in the relationship because we good for blaming each other, especially in marriage. You're like, it's him. No, it's her. But it's the ways that we think are right that needs to be assessed because they don't lead us to successful places in our relationship when we're battling with healing. So I just want to sit that right there. But I really want you to, you could feel like the way you're handling is right. But the question, it goes back to what Pat said at the beginning. Where are you getting that from? That your way is right. Who told you that was the most effective way to handle it? Oftentimes, again, it comes out of all the stuff we come out of. We've come to this place to protect ourselves and survive. So we're not really trying to resolve conflict. We're trying to defend ourselves and protect ourselves, but we're not trying to resolve anything. We're not trying to bring reconciliation. We ain't in it for reconciliation. We in it to save ourselves and protect ourselves and defend ourselves. And you ain't gonna say that about me because they said that about me before, and I'm not doing that again no more. All the weird, quirky places that we come from, We end up coming from these places in relationships, and they make us do things that appear right, but they don't lead to growth in our relationships. So let's keep going. The root of the conflict is what? Strife. Where there is strife, there is pride. But wisdom is found in those who take advice. Listen, what are we finding in the middle of conflict? Strife and pride. Proverbs 13 and 10. Listen to this. James 4, 1 through 2. I want you to study this. What causes fights and quarrels among you? Look at this. Don't they come from your desires that battle within you? Look at this. So they're saying all these fights and quarrels we're having are coming from desires within us. You desire, but you do not have. So you kill, you covet, but you cannot get what you want. So you quarrel and you fight. You do not have because we do not ask God. He's talking about getting wisdom in how we handle our relationships. So when we talk about how and why we don't handle conflict, we're so focused on and not recognize, so focused on the person that we're not recognizing that these are internal battles we're fighting, but that we're fighting them with each other. That is a mic drop, is it not? Most of the time, the argument ain't even about the argument. We got stuff going on the inside of us that we're bringing to this fight and this quarrel that is so much bigger than what we're talking about. And most of the time, that's what the issue is. Because guess what? Fighting and quarreling is not necessary to deal with something that we have a different perspective on. Does that make sense? Again, he talks about it right here. You desire what you do not have. So then we after each other. That's when we get into these fights and these quarrels and all these things. And the key thing he said is we do not ask God. We don't have time to go any further, but I really want you to go back and look at this because I want you to see a couple of things I want you to think about. What am I sowing into my relationships? And what should the right response be? And I'll leave you with this nugget. Your right response should be, let them have it. We talked about that. We saw the fruit of that in the relationship with Abraham and Lot. We saw him say, you know what, you can have it. And he built an altar and he prayed and he asked God. And guess who got honored at the end? Abraham, not Lot. Lot didn't pop up not one altar and ask God, where should I go? How should I handle this conflict we having? It was Abram that did it. And in the end, he was the one that was blessed. Does that make sense? So, questions, thoughts. Yes, let them have it. Let them have it. They can think that they use you. They can think that they won. That's fine. It's just a thought. Because who wins in the end? The one that does things God's way. I'm trying to tell you. I know what I'm talking about. Who wins in the end? Who wins in the end? Let them have it. Okay. Let them have it. That's not the win that you want anyway. You don't want to win an argument. Okay, you won. Ain't no badge on an argument win. Okay, congratulations. You got the last word. That don't mean that's not what you want. That's not the real win. So, questions, thoughts. What are you thinking? It really does. It sounds so religious, but I promise you, I am learning more and more. Let them have it. Fine, you can have that. You want that? You can have that. Because why? That's not the win. Because when you sow flesh, you reap it. And I don't want to reap that. And I'm not going to reap it because you putting it out there. I'm not matching your energy.
Amen to that.
Brittany, because it didn't say you only get it back if they didn't do you wrong. No, it don't say that. It say if you sow it, you going to reap it. And it ain't no excuse for it. You can't say, oh, because of how they said it to me, I gave them that same energy. You just sowed your own seeds for your own self. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, we had somebody with a question. I think she fell off.
No, I'm
Anybody else?
here.
Were you here? Okay, great. What's
No, I'm sorry.
There
your
you
I just
go.
can't turn my camera on. Y'all, my head looking crazy. How y'all doing?
It's all
Hey.
good. It's all good.
What I was gonna say was, I like this. I like this. But the problem, I love identifying problems, but I don't feel like I got a good enough prescription because you said it was infected, so clearly I need some antibiotics, and you was like, I don't know. I just want to make sure I got a good understanding so I go home and apply all the ointment right. I be feeling small. I'm cool with letting them have it. I do that all the time. I forgive. I think I got a mercy gift, so I be smooth with that. The problem is sometimes I still will feel small, or I don't know. I just feel like some of this stuff is so deeply rooted. Like I really want to get past all of this and stop and get all this out of my heart. I'm sorry for my background. I'm gonna go on mute.
Fine.
You're
No,
fine.
you said something that's real. You hit the word. I feel.
Mm.
Feelings. They are real, but they're not facts. And I learned that. I can't count how many times I felt just what you said. And I know Pastor have too. You let somebody have it and you feel like, man, I look like a punk. I look like I just don't. I can't count how many times I be knowing exactly what's going on. And I just let them have it. But again, it comes from, to your point, your own healing. It does. It really does. It comes from your own healing. And when you talk about the prescription for how do I heal from these things, the first thing is acknowledging that they're there. And then the second is renewing your mind with the word of God. We really play the word of God small sometimes, and its ability to transform my mind, and then right relationships and sharing those things and how you're feeling, and identifying that a lot of times in those relationships we've gotten into, we were broken. We chose the wrong person. Sometimes we made wrong calls and got in there. We hurt people too. It starts with forgiveness and letting go of those things. And sometimes we don't even think about what that is that we're letting go of. So I think you start with all those things and getting wise counsel. Okay, I battle with self sabotage. I don't want to do that anymore. How do I not do that in my relationships and get wisdom? So those are some of the things I would say when you talk about applying an ointment. And then what happens is the battle is on when the relationship comes, because now in real time, I got to not do what I normally do. And I'll turn it over to Pastor for some thoughts on that.
I mean, yeah, you already kind of hit on the head. I know for me, only other thing I would add is just also too, is just identifying my role in my healing journey. Like, what do I need to do in this season in the relationships that I currently have right now? What is he calling for me to do? Is it intentional, connecting? Is it intentional forgiving? Is it intentional restoration? Do I need to restore someone in this season? So there is a role that you have in it, that you need to identify. That also too helps in your journey of recovery, in your journey of healing too. So it's identifying that your role that you got to do in this season, and that it could look different with everybody. Some people is going after people. Some people is closing the door to some places that God don't want you to access anymore, or people don't he don't want you to access anymore. So it depends upon what it is, but I would say identifying that and just keep working it. Yep, just keep being consistent with it, and then all it does is it grows you. It grows your ability to love the right way. Right. When we talk about rehab, you already know what that means, right? You're moving and you're healing a part of your body that was damaged. So I would say identifying and just keep working it. Because that's exactly what I'm doing in this this
Listen,
season.
Thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
and you're doing it while it hurt.
Yeah. While it hurts. Yeah. Yeah. But that's only for a
Make
season.
rehab tough. True.
Yeah.
You're doing it while you're healing.
Yeah. Only for a
Somebody
season.
asked a question, Pastor. They said, can it be a spirit of rejection for some? Tammy, give me a little more context on that one. And then Chanel said, how do you deal with an incomplete, tough conversation? That's a good one. I would say that if something
Hey,
is
get
tough,
that book though, Pastor. That's an excellent book.
which
I was
one?
reading it. Courageous what's it? Courageous Conversations.
I think it is. Let me
Yep.
see.
I love that book. I was reading the other day. But anyway,
Oh,
sorry to cut you off.
yeah. No, but I think that's a really good one when you talk about how do I deal with incomplete conversations. I mean, incomplete tough conversations. I think you have to identify who it's tough for. Is it tough for
Hmm.
you or is it tough for them? And then I think you have to get down to how do I have this conversation where emotions are not as high or as involved, because again, and then do I try to tackle this all in one conversation? I can't count how many times in conversations I made that mistake of trying to cover a whole lot of stuff in one conversation, because it was tough stuff. Sometimes it's best to just take it piece by piece, because you would find that some of the things you want to say or you're thinking are actually assumptions about things that are further down in the conversation that may not even be what you think they are. So sometimes just starting at the beginning and starting with not blaming them, not saying what they did, you just a liar. Nope. You just say, hey, I had a question. I feel like sometimes, you know, I don't know if you're telling me, like, it's how you say what you say. And I think if you stay in discovery with tough conversations, not like everything and you got it all figured out, that's normally what makes conversations really hard, because then you don't actually give room for the person to provide you with intel and perspective. Yeah. So I would say take it piece by piece, a little bit by a little bit, and get down to what the real issue is. Because most of the time, if you get down to the real thing, it'd be one thing underlying all the things. Okay. This has been really good.
Amazing.
This has been good. Don't forget to keep rehabbing. Don't give up. Keep fighting for your relationships. We want to thank you guys so much for joining us for Bible class tonight. This was our final Bible class on relational rehab.
Yeah.
It
But
was
it's been
good.
good.
It's
Yeah,
been
it's
really
been
good.
good. We've been growing
Yeah.
together, and really excited about just continue growing, guys. Really continue growing with this. It's what we need. It's no way around it, and we need it. And thank you all for taking the journey with us. We're excited to start a new series Sunday. And you guys know we are excited about our series because we put a lot of time into it, seeking God. Uh, let's see. Let me click on that, Brittany. Let's see, that's the one. See, can
Looking
I
for the
click
name of
on
that
that?
book.
Okay. Because
You got it,
courageous
Pastor.
conversation said something about race. I didn't see. I
I
didn't see
don't know,
courageous.
no, not. I don't think that's the one. What's the one, Pastor Shannon? You got it in your audio book.
Is it white?
I think it's in your,
You
but I was
talking
reading
about
it the other day. I
are you
think
talking
it's
about the
blue and
courage,
white.
blue and white? Oh, I thought you were talking about the courage to be this light. Hold on one second.
No, no, no. It's the one around conversations. I think it was called Courageous. I was reading about it a few weeks ago.
Let me see. I'll look it up. We'll put it on the thing.
Yeah,
I'll find
yeah.
it and see if we can locate the book. But we do have, matter of fact, I know what you're talking about. I just got to find the name of it. It's not Courageous Conversations, but it's close though.
Okay, I probably the title wrong. Sorry.
Yeah. That's okay. We'll find the name of the book for you and do it. But I definitely want to encourage you guys to keep working on communication because it's really, really helpful.
And find you good, healthy books to read.
Yes.
I made it my business to read more this year.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it Crucial Conversations?
There it is.
Yeah. Red and
Crucial
white?
Con- That's
No.
the that
Yeah,
may
it's red and white. Crucial conversation. That's what I just said.
Yeah. Crucial Conversations, Tools for Talking When Stakes Are High.
okay. Yep.
Thank
Sorry.
you.
That's one.
I was reading the audio version. I didn't even see the cover.
Oh, you didn't see it? Yeah. That's what
Mhm.
that was called. Crucial
Yeah, so
Conversations.
yeah. It's a leadership book
It's
that
another book in here too, though, but I can't find it. But anyway, we'll send it to you. But some great reads out here. Sharpen your tools in the area of relationship. There's no way around them. And we all need them. And they all make us better.
Indeed. Well, thank you all for sticking with us. We
Right.
kick it off. We kick it off new Sunday with the new series, and then also too, we're literally this coming Sunday. We're 4 weeks away from Resurrection Sunday, aka Easter. So so we want to continue to get you guys ready for that. It's the Super Bowl of all Sundays, so we're excited about it. We have some great things planned for our youth and for our service, so we're excited about that as well. Just throwing it out there for you all and get you guys ready for that. But until then, we'll see you all Sunday. Let us see your face if you're decent. I know everybody is
If
it's
you're
it's still
decent.
it's getting late. It's getting late, so it's 9 o'clock. But if you're decent, let us just get a quick holler at you and say good
Hello,
evening.
hello. Good
Good
evening.
evening, everybody. Thank
Uh,
y'all for jumping on. What's up, my brother? I see my brother here from Sunday. What's going on, my brother?
Hello, Tori. Hello, Shakira. How
Yeah.
are you? Hey,
Yeah.
Yapri. Hey, Lex.
Any
Hey,
guest
don't
on here,
forget
man? Any guest, just raise your hand. I just want to
Wanda,
say hello. And she
Joy.
said, Chris said we in the bed.
Hello,
No, no, Chris,
everybody.
we good, Chris.
Y'all
Good,
snuggle
good
up. Don't worry
evening,
about it.
everybody.
Hi,
All the
Keisha.
guests. Thank
Eli,
you for
Gabrielle,
jumping
Shanice,
on.
Shonda.
Yeah, we
And
appreciate you
hey,
guys
Leslie.
jumping on.
Manda.
Thank y'all, family. Good to see y'all faces. Good to see
Neil.
y'all faces. Good to see your faces.
Janelle, she joined on Sunday. Hey, girl.
Hey,
Silver.
family,
Hi.
family,
Hey,
family in the
I
building,
was here
family.
last week too. I started last week on the Bible studies.
nice.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to have you. Well, you family now. So you know, you in the Zoom room, so we all family now. Glad to
Okay.
have you.
Right, you're
Glad
gonna
to
put your
have
bonnet
you.
on for Bible class. Hey,
Yeah.
Ron.
Yep. LaShonda, I see you. Hey, family, Kelly, Kiva. I see you
Hello.
all.
Hey,
Thank you all for
man.
joining. Shakira, you made it back, Shakira. Them
Hey,
devils
now.
could not keep you overseas.
Couldn't
Thank
keep you
God you got out
in
of that Middle East. You were just riding camels and God moved.
the nick of time.
In the nick of time, riding tigers and camels, and God moved. You
Perfect
got out of
time.
there. You got out of there. Yeah, my daughter right now is in Morocco, so I was praying
Yeah.
for her. Like, man, get back to. But yeah, she's over
Yeah,
Oh,
there.
I'm
no.
praying
Yeah.
for my brothers. Two of them are in Japan right now. So I'm
Mm,
been asking them like they haven't canceled no flights for y'all to come home or nothing, did they?
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well,
Oh, I
it's
like
praying.
that. Africa over
It's
friends.
praying times. It's praying
It
times.
is.
But when two or three are gathered in His name, He's in the midst.
It.
So
He
I
is.
just keep praying because God can do more than what man can do. But family,
Absolutely.
we thank God for y'all. We can't wait to see y'all on Sunday. Yeah, cannot wait to see
Yes.
y'all on Sunday. Be praying for Diggins for Lita. She has a homegoing of her father this Saturday. So keep us in your prayer, family. Her in your prayers.
Yeah.
So she have her dad's homegoing this Saturday. We'll be praying for her. But just want to throw that out there for you guys to be praying for her and all those who lost loved ones recently. Deacon Dwayne with
That's
his
going
mom.
to
Yep.
mom.
And then Elder Robert he has some family members. I think who else? It was a few others.
Mm,
Valeria,
just gonna keep
with her family. So just keep those in your prayers too, guys. Want to make sure we keep lifting up those who lost loved ones recently in your prayers. And if I miss anyone, please don't charge it to my head here. But just keep them in your prayers, guys, because we definitely praying for them, and we have them on our prayer list. Because it's
It's
not
not easy.
easy, when you lose loved ones. So want to keep in your prayers. But family, we love y'all. We'll see you all on Sunday.
good
Take care.
night.
Good night.
Good night.